Mic check, mic check, mic check.
So testing 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2.
So welcome to the final of the Pakistan Super League USA version. Faisalabad Kings has earned the right to take on Lahore Badshah, and we're all set. Raj Bafsar on strike, and here is Ali Shah.
Ooh.
And no ball.
Starts with
so
a no ball.
Straight away. Here is Carl Bennett. Carl, welcome to the final of the PSL USA.
Yes, Len, and it promises to be an enterprising championship final. Two of the very strong teams have emerged, coming to this final in contrasting fashion. And here's the free hit. Ball is in the air, sliced towards the third man region. And they scamper through for one. So Raj Bafzar is up and running. Two on the board then, total. We're in over number one.
Yeah, Ali Shah, he's a very good bowler. Good leg spinner, very tall man, so he gets some bit of bounce. And of course, the flight of the delivery comes high to the batsman. But here is Salek Iqbal, who has had a very good knock in the semi-final, may have allowed the Faisalabad Kings to come into the championship game. He's a quality player, and he proved that by making a fighting 44 in the last game. Faisalabad Kings will be hoping that he can produce one of those big innings here this afternoon.
Yes, Len, and promises to be quite an interesting matchup. Ball in the air, should be out here. catch is taken. That's the end of Salik Iqbal. He falls cheaply. First wicket goes. It's 2 for 1.
Yeah, very early into the shot. We'll take a look at that one in a second, but trying to play the leg spinner towards the onside was always going to hit against the spin. And what happens when you hit against the spin, the ball takes outside edges, and that's exactly what has happened. So big blow here for the Faisalabad Kings. They've lost one of their premier batsmen. Salik Iqbal is walking back to the pavilion, and he has gotten a golden duck. So 2 for 1. Salik Iqbal walks back to the pavilion.
Yes, Len, and yeah, certainly the contribution of Salik Iqbal in the semi-final set the tone to get Faisalabad into this championship final. But the first ball he saw here from Ali Shah mistimed his pull shot. It took a leading edge, skied to backward point, and the man there, Rajav Sigal, making no mistakes, pulls it in, and Salik has to go.
So Ali Shah made the point. He's a quality bowler. I've seen him play several times before. He bowls a very nagging length and line, and because he's tall, when the ball comes down, it offers some bit of turn. Whatever turn is available on a new ball, that's another issue. But Umar Farooq comes to the middle, and Umar Farooq, he's a super smasher of the cricket ball, and if he gets going here today, Faisalabad Kings will be quite pleased. But they're coming up against Lahore Badshah, defending champions from last year, and they have done well.
Testing length, asking questions, and so a good delivery first up from a Lahore Badshah standpoint, bringing Umar Farooq tentatively forward, and loud appeal, and not out, says umpire Ron McFarlane. So umpire Ron McFarlane and Brian Kane doing duties this afternoon for this championship final.
So ball tugged into the onside, looking for a couple of runs. In fact, they're settled for one. And Omar usually deals in boundaries, so not too much running from him. And Carl, you look at Ali Shah, his bowling style, and certainly approaches a very simple one. He throws the ball up in the air. And of course, in a format like T20 cricket, you've got to make opportunities out of every ball. So it's a tempting proposition when he throws the ball up in the air. But we know what spin bowling is all about. Spin bowling has always been about the flight and the loop and the deception in the ball. He's using all of that this afternoon.
The veteran campaigner he is, so he's able to use his experience to good effect. And on a surface that we've seen all day has been uncertain. We'll look to see what he can add here as Badshah is pulling this one into a backward square position. The throw goes to, and it's and he's there just ahead of the throw, and so they're able to complete a couple of runs.
Yeah, the keeper never collected the ball, took the stumps apart, and so that completes over number one. So after one, they've lost the wicket of Salik Iqbal, and they've posted 5 for 1 at the end of one. So Praveen Kumar, Praveen Kumar comes into the bowling attack. And certainly one of the overseas players here, Carl.
Praveen Kumar.
And will come into bowl to the big man Umar Farooq. A big swing and a miss, and the ball goes through to the keeper. So good start here from Praveen Kumar.
Yes, Len, and so far just pulling his length back a bit, keeping Umar Farooq away from being able to fully extend. And this one is going right through him. And we've seen it here, Len, where the ball doesn't get up. And so Umar Farooq will have to be very careful, have to look to play on the front foot, as we've seen. Front foot play appears to be the order of the day, the best way to kind of get to the pitch of the deliveries and to protect from being trapped on the crease. Better ball this time. It's just employing a bit more pace is Praveen Kumar to good effect once again. Beats the bat outside the off stump. And if you starve Umar Farooq then from getting bat on ball, usually he'll lose. Another good delivery again. Just spinning and turning away from Farooq. And so 4 dots here. And sooner or later, Farooq will be looking for the fences.
Yeah, he's up against a bowler that is turning the ball away from him. And Praveen Kumar has bowled a very good line. Oh, good bowling. This is a very, very good over here from Praveen Kumar. He's bowling to Umar Farooq, and not only Umar Farooq has missed the big shot. So Saeed Abdullah has been throwing the ball. Lot of bowling options here for the Lahore Badshahs. I'm pretty sure we will see the like of Mario Laban, quality fast bowler. And I've seen him bowl as quick as anyone else in the area. And of course we've got the former international from Pakistan, Danish Canaria. Man with some 261 test wicket for Pakistan. But we're watching Abdullah Saeed, who has been given the ball. And will come into bowl to Raj Bafsar. We've seen a quality over from Praveen Kumar.
He's off the shade now. Sorry. All of our equipment these days. We're good?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So the action continues. Umar Farooq has latched onto this one. And it has gone all the way over square leg. So the signal comes up from umpire McFarlane. And it has gone for a maximum. So 7 runs in this over so far from Abdullah Saeed. And I'm surprised about the move here to bowl Abdullah Saeed, the off spinner. Well, he comes in, gets a wicket, so you can't be surprised with that. He has picked up the big wicket of Umar Farooq. He's gone. 2 down for 12 runs on the board.
And a well-judged catch. He had to run in a bit to take it. But on the charge, he came, made no mistake. And so one of the big wickets here goes down as Rizwan Raksi running in there. The skipper taking the catch as we watch it on the replay here. Umar Farooq looking to go big through the offside. And Raksi running across.
Yes,
scooped it.
Might have been the angle of Abdullah Saeed. Came around the wicket this time. And I was just about to make the point that as an off spinner, it might be a little bit more difficult to contain Umar Farooq. But you can't complain when he skied a catch up the Raksi. And so 12 for 2. as Raymond Ramratan comes to the middle. And so Faisalabad Kings in early trouble here. We saw them in the semi-final game. They were in early trouble also. But who else will save them on this occasion? We saw in the other game, Imran Raja and Saleh Iqbal bailed them out of trouble. They were batting somewhat 23 for 4 at one time. And now they find themselves at 2 for 12. Ramratan comes to the middle. So Abdullah has picked up 1. And this over's gone for 7 so far. So he comes back. In fact, he will bowl again around the wicket. And so here is the off spinner.
And coming through and around. And so for the moment, keeping things quiet, picked up a wicket. And after on the very next ball, after being taken out of the ground, goes down the leg side this time. And so this one will be a wide, as indicated by umpire Rowan McFarlane.
Yes, Carl, and Abdullah has been one of the players that would have made their way quickly here from Virginia. They were there for a 5-day tournament. And Abdullah, in fact, batted exceptionally well in the semi-final over there. Got out to a brilliant cat from Justin Dill. And him along the likes of Jesse Singh and Imrul Hashib has made their way to play in the final day of the PSL of USA. And so far, Abdullah has been a very impactful player, at least in the semi-final, where he got 43 from what, 27 balls?
He got 47 actually from 23 balls. And so 5 sixes and 3 4s in his innings as he smashed his way and put the Lahore Badshah in this championship final, as we see the setup happening here for the tournament awards, which will happen post this championship final. And so tournament organizers getting everything situated. And so whom will lift the hardware? That's the question to be answered.
Yeah, yes, Carl. Very smart move by the presentation committee, because these men know cricket. You never can predict the duration of a cricket match. You might be saying, well, we're starting at 3 o'clock and a cricket match runs for 3 hours, but you never know. We saw Lahore Badshah in the previous game dismiss the Wolves, Gujranwala Wolves, for 70 runs, so you never know.
Yeah, for 87. So you're right, Len. It's very likely sometimes that these situations end up with a game that could be shortened, especially on a surface like this, which is not we've seen the uncertainty of it that's caused some low scoring in this tournament, and so on a surface that could potentially yield some low scores, you never know when this one could be shortened beyond what we would typically expect, the full allotment of 20 overs on each side. And
Carl, the Marine Park venue has always been one for some of the tournaments organized by a committee that certainly resembles the one that runs the PSL of USA. Big Tree is another tournament we've been a part of. So bowling change, cut into the offside, running up towards the boundary. Fielder comes around, and he saved the boundary, saved a couple of runs. Good looking shot from Raj Bhavsar.
So the bowler is number 22, Rajav Sigal. And so a couple of runs to start the proceedings. Things up to 15 for 2. Has taken on the pad, trapped on the crease, and is given. So Raja Bhavsar, and we've been saying it all day, Len, on a surface like this that's playing low, cannot play on the back foot, trapped on the crease. He seems dissatisfied with the decision, but we'll be able to see it here on the replay. Let's see which line he plays here. And he's trapped in front. It looks plumb. It looks like he might be, if anything, it might be a bit high. It may, but he did come across the stumps, trapped on the crease. Umpire Brian Kane giving the adjudication that he has been out leg before wicket.
So Imran Raja walks to the middle. Got a 30 plus in the semi-final. And actually, Carl, Imran Raja comes in similar situation in the semi-final. And whether or not he will give us a performance that has really done well in that semi-final game. He got into the 30s, but he joins Ramratan, two relatively new batsmen out in the middle. And a scoreboard that is reading 3 down for 15 on the board.
Yeah, it's a spot of bother here for Faisalabad. And somebody will need to put their hand up here, Len, to just occupy the crease for a few overs, as we've seen, you know, in the semi-final. 31, one batsman, Raja, got in the 30s. Salik Iqbal got in the 40s. Sometimes that's all you need is just to post a total. We know that the par score on this surface may be low 100s perhaps now. We saw 133 being put up early and defended easily. So what can this surface yield?
And the fact is, Carl, we haven't seen the introduction yet of Danish Canaria, a player who's played at the international level for several years, and we haven't seen Mario Laban, considered one of the quickest around here. So the bowling does have a lot more options than what you see here, and they've done well, 3 down for 15.
And we saw, and when you mentioned Mario Laban, who is one of the speedsters, we saw that if you have a bowler with good pace, they can be effective on the surface. We saw Jesse Singh pick up quite a few wickets in the semi-finals. And in fact, we'll take a look just back at his bowling figures. He ended with 3 for 23, but he was really problematic for the batters of the Leopards that they played earlier. The Karachi Leopards really troubled those batsmen, kept them guessing all innings long. As the over comes to an end, 3 runs from it. It's 16 for 3 after 4 overs.
So Faisalabad Kings sent in both games they've played today. And we thought when they posted 133 in the semi-final, that was probably going to be a good score. And the question now, can they aim to get about that target, 133, 140? More is always better, but you've got to be realistic. They've lost 3. And they're up against a powerful bowling attack supported by the Lahore Badshahs. Make no fuss about that. Ali Shah comes back into the attack. And he's bowled well. He's picked up 1 for 5 in his only over. Very tall bowler, so he gets good flight, he gets good bounce. And with a bit of turn, he's bowling with a ball that is now 4 overs old. So we'll wait and see. Could that be legged by Imran Raja? Will be off the mark if that has come off the bat. Umpire Ron McFarlane hasn't given us an indication at all. So good bit of strike there from Imran Raja. And one of the things, Carl, when you're scoring, you want the umpire to give you at least something called a pre-signal. So at least tells you so you can get going as a scorer. Ball worked into the offside, can't score. This is tidy bowling. 18 for 3 at the moment.
It's not going to be easy. This is going to require some level of application here from the Faisalabad batters. Taking on the pad, and he's gone. So again, trapped on the crease, looking to pull through the onside, playing across the line of the delivery. And again, Len, we've said it all along, as here is the delivery flighted, and he looks dead. We're trapped on the crease.
How do you not give that out? McFarlane will go to bed tonight, realizing that if there was a plum decision, well, this one is it. So another wicket goes down. It's 18 for 4. Salman Nazar. So Salman Nazar will walk to the middle with the Faisalabad Kings in a lot of trouble here. They're 4 down with just 18 runs on the board. Imran Raja comes back cheaply. And now it will be left to Salman Nazar, Raymond Ramaratan, and the others to come. Good bowling here from Ali Shah. 2 for 7 so far. And we saw Abdullah and Segal picking up wickets. So good, very, very good bowling here from the Lahore Badshah squad. Now we haven't seen the likes of Laban and Canaria.
No, this one also, second one. You know, this one I did in the morning, Danish Canaria.
So Salman Nazar comes to the middle.
Yes.
We've seen 2 runs in the over so far. Ali Sheikh has been quite impressive, 2 for 7 at the moment.
Yeah, that last one is on the same page.
So 18 runs on the board. We're still in the power play with just 1 over remaining in the power play after this one. And umpire McFarlane making some signaling out to the on the outside of the playing area. Seems satisfied now. We resume. This one is swung away into the mid-wicket region. It should go away for a boundary, and it does so. Now we get the confirmation, and so Nazar is up and running. He's gets off the mark on 4. It's 22 now, with 1 ball still remaining.
Yeah, good release shot here from Salman Nazar. Poor delivery from Ali Shah. And ball hammered into the onside. That's a good looking shot. So ball comes off the outer face of the bat. Can't score is Salman Nazar. He remains on his 1 boundary shot for 4, and that will complete over number 5, 22 for 4.
So just 6 runs from the over, and a productive over from a Lahore Badshah standpoint. They have restricted the Faisalabad Kings to effectively 4.4 runs per over.
So Delta has taken off from what appears to be John F. Kennedy car.
Aircraft over above.
Or is it descending?
It may have been descending. So the JFK, the John F. Kennedy Airport, not too far away. And,
so it appears Raghav Seagull will continue. And the captain here, Raxi, has so much options to play with. And the way things have gone, he literally can throw the ball to any of his bowlers now. And they'll probably give him a good spell based on what has happened here. So Parveen Kumar, has been given the ball.
Parveen Kumar.
And he's bowled a
back
maiden
into the
over.
attack. So, as you pointed out, Len's first over was a maiden, so he comes back here looking to pick up where he left off. 22 runs on the board, last over of the power play. And he starts with, in fact, a wide ball is the indication from umpire Brian Kane. So that's the first run he's conceded by way of an extra. Again, we see the balls keeping low on the surface. Just hard to predict the bounce here, but yet we still see batsmen kind of hanging on the back foot. And Len, what's the approach when a surface is playing low like this? Does the batsman look to bat down the track, out of the crease a bit, or right on the edge of the crease, trying to shorten where the ball can land?
Well, it's still tough. No matter how you cut it, it's not that the bowling is anything too magical at times. But the wicket is the mental, more of a mental thing. Batsman knows this pitch is not one of the better ones, not the trusted one. So that alone plays on your mind.
But in your mind, you have to be thinking front foot always.
And the fact is, with the scoreboard pressure of batting at 24 for 4, Salman Azhar looks pretty solid. And so all that plays on your mind. And then, of course, you've got the bowling skill to worry about, which cannot be discounted. Ball goes down the leg side. You might as well take some of these extras, courtesy of some of the bowlers here. And I'm pretty sure in this very short time, if you've given up 4 extras, then probably you've given up some. Ball defended again here by Salman Azhar. So Salman Azhar realizing that still a long way to go. We are still a couple balls away from the power play session. And he knows with 4 wickets already in the hut, he will have to play a good innings here.
And he had to come down to defend. So really quality bowling here. Just the 3 runs conceded in the over so far with 1 delivery remaining. And can Parveen finish this one strongly for Badshah? And this one will run away towards the point boundary. It may have crossed the boundary as the fielder gives up the chase. And so 4 runs to close out the over, 7 runs from it. A good over from a Faisalabad standpoint. They're 29 for 4 at the end of the power play.
Yeah, Praveen might have bowled the Chinaman there. And getting a good slice on that one, Salman Nazar, and the ball raced away for 4. And so a partnership may be forming here as we see the 4-pedal bicycle car that goes around the park. And that's a
Family bike rides, Len. Plus it's the contraption is covered, so you're somewhat protected, somewhat guarded from the sun. So a good situation.
Danish Canaria has been given the ball. And a very top quality bowler coming out of Pakistan. And in fact, there's only 3 other bowlers in the history of Pakistan cricket who has more test wicket than this man with ball in hand. And those 3 bowlers are Wasim Akram, Waqar Yunus and Imran Khan. Yeah, good spin on that ball, but well negated here by Raymond Ramartan on the full. And he picks up his 2nd run, 30 for 4.
And Kings are going at just under 5 and over, so still well away from what would be any sort of imposing total. But as we've said, Len, we've seen much less. We've seen some very low scores hold up on this particular pitch. And so they have to be thinking of some score in the range of about 100, which at least, as we've seen, runs on the board are runs on the board. And with their bowling attack, they probably should be in a good position to look to defend such a total as they scamper through for a quick single.
So 261 wickets for Canaria at the test level.
Real quality
And I made the
player.
point, only Wasim Akram, Waqar Yunus and Imran Khan ahead of him. And when you consider Pakistan has been playing cricket for many, many years, if you're number 4 on that chart, you're You've been a very, very good bowler at the international level, Carl.
And at this stage, I think the Kings batsmen are just looking to milk him. And so far, every ball he has bowled so far, they've taken a single. So for now, just take the singles and perhaps look to target one or two of the other bowlers.
We saw from the little that we have seen so far from Salman Nazar, he looks very comfortable against the spin bowling. We saw in the previous over, attempting to use his feet, which is really the right way to play. But he will have to really be careful here. This is a man with can bowl with a lot of guile. Oh. Yeah. Making the choice to pull across the line of a delivery that never came up.
And all that good work almost undone in one rash swing of the blade. Going again across the line of the delivery. Had to reach down and forward, trying to again reach the pitch. And no chance to score. So the over comes to an end. Just 3 runs from it. A good over from Canaria to start. And so it's 32 for 4 at the end of 7 overs. We see the scorecard here. Badshah went for 6. Salih Kickball went without scoring. Umar Farouk went for 7. And Ray Ramratan is still not out on 3. Imran Raja went for 3. And Salman Nazar is not out on 9.
So still batting to come. Adil, Bilal, Jesse, Gaurav, Grover. And so batting to come, still Umair Ali. So Parveen Kumar, it appears, will continue. Ball punched into the offside by Ramratan. So runs coming by ones. Have we seen a boundary in this innings, Carl? Maybe one off.
I think we saw one earlier. We saw 1-6 in over number 3 and a 4 in over number 5 and 1 in, and the last boundary we saw was in over number 6.
So Parveen Kumar continues. Ball played into the onside by Salman Nazar. So a stranglehold on Faisalabad Kings. They've lost 4. They're fighting their way through. Oh, swung into the onside. Fielder not judging it properly. Falls in front of him. And in the end, Salman Nazar runs through for 1.
So an attacking looking Salman Nazar is looking to go big over the onside. And so far just looking to keep the scoreboard moving, recognizing that there's not a lot in the pitch here for the batters. And just looking to survive and advance. Oh, just out of the reach of a diving man at cover. And they'll get a couple of runs here. So that pushes him up, Ramratan up to 6, total up to 36.
Yeah, productive shot from Ramratan. It was in the air for a bit. But they could ill afford to lose another wicket now. So every run that comes, they'll have to take it with grateful heart. This is a quality comeback delivery here from Parveen Kumar. He's been well. He's bowled well. Made a good start to his bowling spell by bowling a maiden over. And that's another quality delivery. So we have seen the left arm leg spinners prosper here somewhat in the couple of games that we have seen, Carl. 8 overs gone, 36 for 4.
So we see the bowling figures here. Ali Shah, 2 overs, 2 for 11. Parveen Kumar, none for 11 from 3 with 1 maiden. Said Abdullah, 1 for 8 from 1. Rajav
Salman Nazar trying to pull through the onside. Doesn't go well. And now, good gamesmanship here. Coming down the track himself, picking up the ball and sending it back to Danish Canaria. Struggle to get runs here for the Faisalabad Kings. He comes down the track. Balls fall short of in front of the man at long on, Ali Shah. And another one is added to the scorecard, 37 for 4. And we see a very ambitious Salman Nazar, but he's a very pint-sized individual, Carl.
Yes, Len.
Not too sure if he has all the power to clear this field with some bit of ease.
So far, sharing in a reasonably good partnership building here between he and Ramratan. As partnership now worth 19. And 19 has come from 24 balls, so not the most prolific, but at this stage of it, you have to think.
So a cancelled call for wide.
Ball.
And the ball may have touched the equipment of Ramratan on its way to the keeper.
This one is driven by Ramratan for another single here. So slow sledding at the moment, but again, Faisalabad Kings just have to look to hang in there, just to stay in the fray, stay in the game, and wait for their opportunity. We know this is not a high-scoring surface, and so once they recognize that the high scores are out, and they just have to pick a total that should get them reasonably close to putting a competitive score on the board. As ball angled down the leg side, looks like it might have come off the bat and then pad, not sure based on the effort from the wicketkeeper. Looked like they might have been thinking that there was some bat on that delivery.
And Carl, you look at you look at Salman Nazar. He seems to be in a rush. Maybe frustrated by the way things have gone. There have been some tidy bowling, but if you're batting for the team here, 39 for 4, the last thing they would want is to lose another wicket. So 9 gone, it's 39 for 4.
And just 3 runs off that particular over. So a good start here for the bowling unit. And certainly we've seen Canaria bowl 2 overs for 6 runs. So he has been very effective.
So that's the
so
warm
far.
chart. You want to see it more of an escalator kind of chart. Right now it's a little bit sagging. We saw quality bowling around over number 2 and 3, and then it hasn't really gone very steep. So
yes, Len, in fact looks somewhat linear in terms of the progression, in terms of the trajectory going.
The fact is what puts a dent into getting a more steep rise, Carl, is the wickets.
For sure.
That would have fallen. The quality ones, the likes of Salak Iqbal, Umar Farouk, and Imran Raja, who was quite productive in the semi-final.
Raj Bhavsar, the other batsman who was also dismissed. So top order gone, but the middle order looking to put some repair work together.
So Seagal comes back into the attack. He's bowled 1 over for 3, picked up 1 wicket. And we'll come in here with 66 balls still to be bowled. Ball lofted into the offside. Lovely shot from Salman Nazar. Not only has he picked the inner portion of the field, he's found the gap. And that's a lovely shot for 4. Good looking shot.
Yes, Len, and let's look at it. Ball was on the up, outside the off stump. On the up, he hits it cleanly right in the middle of the gap. And so perfectly spotted between the 2 fielders, that extra cover and long off. And he picks up a boundary umpire, Brian Kane, with the flourish.
So ball dabbed into the offside. Good looking shot again from Salman Nazar. And surprisingly, Carl, in a very quiet way, very unannounced, we're beginning to see a partnership forming here, 26, which is in relation to what has happened here so far, the tallest partnership. Some 26 runs between Raymond Ramratan and Salman Nazar. Of course, Salman Nazar has dominated this partnership.
So another helicopter going overhead. So we're seeing lots of activity in the air over Marine Park. And Not only airplanes, but helicopters, drones, all kinds of activity here. And bicycles or pedicycles. This one played into the onside for another single here.
Wow, what a throw. A brilliant throw from the man out in the deep. But Raymond Ramratan has picked up another run. He's another player who would have just returned from Virginia, represented Crick Lanes up in Virginia. He got knocked out in the in a quarter-final game.
Ooh, switch hit attempt, missed it, but it runs behind for one. They'll come back for a second as the batters run very quickly between the sticks. And so buys is the call. And so a couple of buys there pushes the total up to 47.
So they're approaching their first bit of milestone in cricket, Carl. 50, 100, 150, 200.
Oh, had to run for all he was worth to get to the end. So the over comes to an end. 9 runs from it. It's 48 for 4 at the end of 10 overs.
So welcome back to Marine Park, 48 for 4. Lots of activities away from the cricket. Some bit of softball being played there. And Carl, over time, New York, not only New York has been a hotbed for baseball, but Brooklyn. Isn't Brooklyn considered one of the home of baseball around the country?
Brooklyn is the mecca for a lot of activity, Len. Certainly a cultural epicenter for lots of different cultures, lots of different people have moved, not only from the Caribbean, people from various parts of the world, Asia, well represented. And we're in a part of Brooklyn where there are a number of Italians and Jewish members of the population. And
so Mario Labon has been given the ball.
Interesting. Very, very interesting cultural makeup here in Brooklyn.
So Mario Labon comes into the attack. And Salman Nazar is all tied up trying to play a premeditated shot. And I get the feeling, Carl, that Salman Nazar getting very impatient, and he's done well. But somehow you get the impression that he just either want to get on or get out. And I think the team, the Faisalabad Kings, would need an in-between performance here from Salman Nazar and Raymond Ramratan. Was flashing shot through the offside. We'll pick up a single. They're coming back with 2. We'll have to run quickly. The throw comes in. And the stumps gets uprooted. Brian Kane has a good look. Not outside the umpire. And that brings up the 50 here for Faisalabad Kings.
So good bit of work there in the outfield. Had the throw coming back quickly, but couldn't get away. So partnership here of 32 between Salman and Ramratan. And so 20 contributed by Solomon, 8 by Ramratan. 35 balls in that partnership.
So Mario Labon gives up 2 off his first ball. A quality bowling attack sported here by Lahore Badshah. They have won the tournament last year. And they're into another final. Which team will walk away with the cup this year? Faisalabad Kings or Lahore Badshah? We're watching Mario Labon, very quality bowler. No ball is the call. And definitely that will have to be one of the overstep no ball card.
And Laban, as we've said, very quick, but he'll have to reload here. And Salman Nazar will have a free swing off the blade. And let's see what he can do with this.
So here's the free hit ball.
And again, Len, because this track is playing low, you would think the bowlers would just bowl at the sticks. Gotta bowl a little bit straight when the wicket is playing with such unpredictability. You would think the bowlers would look to keep it up to the batsman full and straight.
And Carl, we have seen the approach.
Ooh.
So has he taken that on his helmet?
I think he has, as the grill comes off. Got one short off the track.
Yeah, Carl, as we have seen in the modern game, you're required to do what they would call a concussion protocol test. And I'll tell you, but
well, the grill looks, in fact, we'll see it on the replay here as Laban running in and letting go. And he's nowhere near it. In fact, he was way through the shot before the ball arrived. And perhaps that's the slowness of the pitch more so than the pace of the delivery.
And the concussion issue not only is restricted to cricket. In fact, in many other sports, well, one of the sports it probably was the first to really enforce one of those protocol, Carl. It has to be boxing. I remember back in the days, if a referee sees a man wobbling a little bit in his knees, he'll just want to make sure. How many fingers do you see here?
Yeah, sometimes they'd hold on to the wrist and hold them up to see if the wrist would stay up. And
but the fact is, and I'll tell you something, it may sound a little bit funny, but if you read the concussion protocol as prescribed by the ECB, the English Cricket Board, there's a series of questions that some of these batsmen have to answer in order to be deemed good enough to continue. And I'll tell you, some of those questions, you ask a guy who hasn't been hit cannot answer some of those questions. For example, what was your last score in the last match you played?
Yeah.
What was the result?
As Laban continues, and now he's taking on the hand, I think, and jumping around is Salman Nazar. And so Mario Laban has batsmen running on the surface. Very, very fast bowler.
So 52 for 4, we are in the 11th over.
And Laban comes out of the island of Jamaica.
So 34-run partnership so far.
So Laban would have played some cricket in senior cup cricket in Jamaica, would have gone to the Jamaica under-19 trials several years ago. Plays his cricket in the Garden State League as well as in the American League. And in fact, would have been the American League MVP last year in 2021 as his team would have copped 2 titles, the Ardsley United where he was the captain, they would have won the 30 over tournament as well as the T20 tournament. And so Mario Laban, a quality player. So 53 the total on the board for the loss of 4 wickets. The batsman out in the middle, Salman Nazar, as we see the worm chart here, which shows that things are still progressing at a level that may be a little bit subpar. So running at just under 5 and over, 4.8 and over at the moment. We saw the early wickets that fell. 1 wicket fell in over number 1, and we had a wicket fall in over number 3, another in over number 4, another number in over number 5. So we saw wickets falling in 2, 3 in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th over. And since then, a partnership of 35 has been put together by Salman Nazar and Raymond Ramratan.
So Habib comes into the attack. And he starts with the ball going down the leg side. Habib Shah. So this is bowler number 7 being employed here by Lahore Badshah. And you get a sense, Carl, nothing is wrong with 4 wickets down for 53, but we've seen the 7 bowler being used now. So bowlers are bowling in short spells.
So we'll probably have to reload this one, and we get the confirmation from umpire Brian Kane.
Yeah, that one is taken off.
It looked like it hit a very dubious spot on the wicket, and then just kicked off the surface. And we've seen that all afternoon long. And in fact, that's perhaps one of the drawbacks of this matchup. Just it comes down to really less about batters being able to get bat onto ball. This one, it goes in the deep and it's dropped. So it's in the air for quite some time and it's gone for a maximum. And the man out in the deep adding insult to injury there, as he had to run back far away and in the end could not hold on.
So a good looking shot from Raymond Ramratan using the pace of the ball. He just needed the bat to guide the direction of the ball. And a well executed shot, but he could have gotten out. Not too sure if the fielder was in or over the boundary flag, but in the end 6 runs awarded to Ramratan.
So he aborts the takeoff there and has to reload. 60 on the board. Ramratan, he's on 15. 15 from 19 balls. Salman is on 21 from 27. So steering this one again down into the 3rd man region. They press for 1. They're going to come back for a 2nd. So really good running there. As man out in the deep.
So 44-run partnership.
Being asked to do quite a bit of work.
Both Ramratan and Salman Nazar beginning to get some runs a little bit more quickly. And they're going at 5.3 and over, still 51 balls to be bowled.
Wajid Sultan, the man out in the deep 3rd man area, being asked to do quite a bit of work on these last couple of deliveries. Another single here, so a really good partnership here coming together. Partnership now worth 45 and 45 from 44 balls, so better than run a ball. This partnership now, Salman Nazar contributing 25 and Raymond Ramratan contributing 20.
And Carl, I get the feeling that the Pacers have given up a lot more than the spinner. We will certainly track that relative to the amount of over that they have bowled. And Salman Nazar on strike. Oh, what a shot here from Salman Nazar. He brings out one of those innovative shots. And it speeds away with the pace of the ball. And that's a lovely looking shot from the little man.
A really good shot indeed. And in fact, makes this one of the most productive overs for Faisalabad so far. already 14 gone in the over and still a delivery remaining. So really now Salman Nazar putting his foot down and looking to lead the charge back here for the Kings.
Yes, Carl, we've seen so many times in a cricket match, it's not where you start, certainly it's where you end. We saw the Faisalabad Kings were in similar position in the first semi-final. They were batting at 32 for 4, and they were able to post 133. Could this be a repeat performance what has happened earlier on? We've seen Habib Shah and Mario Laban going for, relative to what the run rate is, lot in the last couple of overs or so.
Well, Laban went for 5, so not the worst over that he bowled. But Habib Shah has gone for quite a bit, 14 already with still a ball remaining. And so here's where things look to pick up here for FK, the Faisalabad Kings. And that brings up the 50 partnership. So 50 partnership up for the Faisalabad Kings. And the 50 comes off. 50 comes from 46 deliveries. And so a really good partnership here put together by Faisalabad Kings. So we're 12 overs completed. So 48 more remaining, 48 deliveries remaining, or 8 overs, 68 on the board for the loss of 4 wickets.
Comes off from 45 balls and contributions, 18 from Raymond Ramertan, dominated by Salman Nazar, who got 26. And if by chance you're trying to find some missing runs there, 26 and 18, that's 44. Carl, where's the other 6? Well, those other 6 are extras that would have incurred during this partnership. So that's how
in fact,
the index goes with that.
And in fact, you see Salman Nazar, he's on 26 from 29, 4 fours in his innings so far, hitting at 89 strike rate. If you really had to factor in all the amount of runs, including extras, Len, Salman Nazar would have contributed 30, including extras, when he was facing strike, and Raymond Ramertan would have contributed 20 while he was on strike. And so 50 runs from the 46 deliveries that you saw.
So Abdullah Saeed comes back into the attack. First over went for 8. He picked up the important wicket of Umar Farouk. And he comes back to start over number 13. So inside out, good looking shot. Laban comes around, makes a clean pickup. So a good couple of runs there for Salman Nazar. The third one was on the offing, but he slipped and fell. And so he picks up 270 for 4.
So good bit of work by Nazar. He's continued to look really, really well. Middling the ball quite well. Again, he's hitting this down the ground towards long off. So apparently now Len seeming to have adjusted to the slow pace of the wicket and using it to his advantage. And then it shows character when you take one off the grill to come back and look so firmly in control and batting with a lot of bravery is Salman Nazar. He's on 29, stands at the non-striker's end for the moment.
So 45 balls remaining. Not a single here. The partnership has gone up to 54. And in fact make that 55. So a bit of some sloppy work here done by the keeper, and possibly might not be one of the best throws, but what should have been a single ends up to be 2. And in these low scoring games, Carl, every run counts. You never know if the match is win or lost by what that one run. We may have to point at that play.
And again, they continue to be very fluent now. And so again, just taking ones and twos, and then seeing what happens when a ball that is a boundary ball comes. They'll look to make the most of that, but for the moment, just continuing to milk Saeed Abdullah. Here's another single, at least one.
So 7 runs off this over so far. And we've got 43 balls remaining, so should they go run a ball, they'll get up to 113 if they go run a ball. But you get the feeling with this partnership here, well set batsmen out in the middle. You want to think that they'll probably do better than 43 runs from here on, which could put them in the vicinity of 125, 135, which could be a good score to bowl at. Oh, into the onside. Fielder comes in, takes the catch. So Jesse Singh walks to the middle. And the big partnership of 57 certainly comes to an end. Man with the golden arm, Abdullah Saeed. Ramratan gets a sprinkling of applause from the players' camp for a well-played innings, 75 for 5. So Jesse Singh comes to the middle. He got 42 ball to contend with. 13 overs gone, 75 for 5. And they're going at 5.7 and over. You get the feeling that this could be a 120, 130 game. Whether or not it will be enough here for the Lahore Badshah, whose batsman has been in top form, as Danish Canaria has been reintroduced into the attack. And will come into bowl to Salman Nazar. Nazar has batted well for 30 so far. And Canaria, 2 overs, no made, none for 6. He's been quite economical.
So we have 42 deliveries remaining. And if they go run a ball from here, it'll be 117. 117 would be the total that they'd post. In fact, the projection suggests 107 is the projection.
So Jesse Singh is on strike. And he stabs this one out towards
front foot. And just a lapse in concentration got him on the back foot. And that was his undoing. And so perhaps he would have learned his lesson from having batted on this pitch in the semi-final.
Yeah, those were synthetic tracks, those green tennis ball bounce tracks, and big difference here today. So he comes back into strike, 77 on the board. And he gets a quality delivery from a man who has 261 test wickets. Quality bowler from Pakistan.
So Jesse will want to be watchful here to see Canaria off, and then perhaps looking to take his chances with one of the other bowlers.
Well, Carl, on the other hand, there's some batsmen will play matches and they'll tell you that, well, we don't play against names. We play on merit, whatever you bowl. And sometimes, of course, we know the mental adjustment you will have to make when one of the top bowlers of the world bowls at you.
In fact, at times, some players would want to take on some bats, some other players because of their name. They want to say like, look, I took such and such.
Wickets. We've seen a big partnership between in between that. So that's the situation here, going at 5.64.
And
14 overs gone. Faisalabad. Did they win the toss and elected to bat? I thought it was.
no, they got sent in actually. They got sent in. Oh!
Mario Labon runs in, holds on to a good catch. And Salman Nazar finally falls for 32. Is 79 for 6.
And what a catch by Lab.
So Abdullah comes into bowl to Jesse Singh, and he plays this one out towards the onside, and there is no runs. New man in, Gaurav Grover. Over number 15. Oh, Jesse Singh has latched onto this one. It's gone all the way for a maximum. Good looking shot from Jesse Singh from a poor delivery here from Saeed Abdullah. And that has gone for a maximum. So ball worked into the offside. Another single here to Jesse Singh. And so 7 runs in this over so far with 1 wicket. Abdullah's bowled well. So that completes over number 15, and after 15, it's 86. So Ali Shah comes back for his 3rd spell. Now let's see what he has done so far. 2 for 11 off a couple of overs. And 2 spells. Carl looked like a lot in a bowling spell of only 4 overs, but that's what T20 has really served up to. So Jesse Singh remains on 9. It's 86 for 6.
And Ali Shah's bowled quite well, 2 for 11 coming into this one. So looking to pick up where he left off. Just 28 balls remaining in the innings.
The ball cut away into the offside. Jesse Singh has found the runs hard to come by today. In both games, we know he can give the ball a tap and he can bat, but hasn't got the kind of scores I'm pretty sure that he wants. Oh, finally makes good connection with this one. Protection out in the deep. And he gets a single, turns the strike over to Gaurav.
Yeah, can't beat extra cover. It was a good clean strike. One of the fewer deliveries you've seen. Ball on the up. Gave it a good whack, but picked out the man at deep extra cover. So only one an offer.
So 26 balls still remaining. Of course, not including wides or no ball or as it relates to that. Gaurav Grover, the left-hander, comes into strike. So they're going 5.4 and over. And still we've got 24 balls to go, so that'll be 110, 115, 120 hit card. Oh, runs past and the keeper doesn't collect.
Misses that one, so opportunity goes a begging there. And that replay is upcoming here as he comes down the track and the keeper missed it completely and allows
so that's
him to
Ibrahim
get back.
Zahoor.
That is Zahoor.
Yeah, looks like Ibrahim Zahoor, man, who used to play for Staten Island, now turns out for Lucas in the Metropolitan League.
So that will complete the over. Just one run from it. And so it's 16 gone. It's 87 for 6.
So 87 for 6, 16 overs gone. And Danish Canaria will come into bowl to Jesse Singh. Ball cuts away nicely here by Jesse Singh. Will pick up a couple of runs. So 2 runs here to Jesse Singh. Pass versus present. A pass play in Danish Canaria, Carl, who would have played at the international level at some point. To the Jesse Singh, who has been part of the US ODI setup. Pass versus present.
Ooh.
Big swing, no ball.
And again, Len, the issue is the blade of the ball keeps coming over the top. The blade of the bat keeps coming over the top of the ball, based on the way that the batsmen are swinging, going across the line, and that's the end of. So past beats present as Jesse Singh runs past one. And so it's now 89 for 7. Singh goes to 12. And here is the delivery.
Yeah, a classic spinner delivery. Loop the ball up in the air, invite the batsman to come down. And if you got a very good keeper, and he collects the ball, Ibrahim Zahoor. And that's the end of Jesse Singh. So Adil Naushwan walks to the middle. And the equation is 20 balls remaining. It's 89 for 7. And you get this feeling, Carl, it definitely will be a low-scoring game. Whether or not they can defend 110, 115, we'll wait and see. But it's all shaping up to be one of those low scorer. We saw Lahore Badshah. It appears that many of the teams cannot make a formidable score against this opposition. So you've got to give them some bit of credit. So that's your over by over chart. It simply says over number 12 has been the biggest one so far. And that one would have been bowled by Habib Shah. We haven't seen him again after that.
Yeah,
That was the over in which
came under a lot of pressure from Salman. Salman took him for quite a few. Nazar, 14, 15 came off the over, including a huge 6 over deep backward point, or really of a third man. Should have resulted in a catch in essence. Did the chance to Wasim was dropped in the deep. Ball was hit towards Wajid Sultan rather, and he couldn't hold on, and so yielded 6 runs in the end. So this one is swung around behind square for a single.
So Canaria has picked up 1. And if we were to add that 1 onto his international career card, he will what, go up to 262? Yeah, very clever bowler when he played.
Ooh. Just looping up a delivery there again, inviting the batsman to go for the slog sweep.
Yeah, off my memory, let's see who was bowled right arm good leg spin for Pakistan. Of course, we saw Abdul Qadir. Yasir Shah is the man with the trade now.
Oh, again, can't get the ball off the square. So that will conclude the over. And so just 3 runs from it. It's 90 for 7 after 17. So just 5.3 runs per over for Faisalabad Kings. And with 18 balls to go, they're looking at some total in the range of about 100 and 108 if they go run a ball. And run a ball would keep them in line with just about where they are, maybe 108, 105, 108, somewhere in that range. So it's a question of can they actually push much beyond that? Maybe 120, 125 may be a competitive total. As we know, this is a low-scoring track, and so one wouldn't expect that Lahore Badshah would be able to chase down a total of 125 with ease. They could. They have the quality to do it. The surface isn't as conducive, and if they're to put a lid on Abdullah Saeed, and they could take their chances with the rest of the batting lineup for Lahore Badshah. Oh, so comes right in, does Saeed Abdullah, picks up another one. And so Saeed Abdullah on the charge, and wicket number 8 falls here as Noshawan gets his middle stump knocked out, and so he falls. In fact, the middle end off, and so that's the end of Abdullah. 8th wicket falls. It's now 90 for 8.
So Bilal Ahmed comes to the middle, 90 for 8. And 17 balls remaining. So Faisalabad Kings, can they survive the next 17 balls, Carl? With a couple of wickets standing here. We know Bilal Ahmed can bat. He comes out here batting at what? Number 9? In fact, he comes out here batting at number 10 with Umair Ali remaining in the hut.
It's a lot of pressure here the rest of the way. As Lahore Badshah looking to clean things up here at the end. And you can tell then that the wicket has contributed based on how many leg before wickets and how many players got bowled. And so leg before there were 2. And then Saeed knocked out the stumps off Adil Naushwan. This ball turned into the onside for a single. So Bilal is up and running. He's on 1. Grover yet to get off the mark. Has faced 4 deliveries so far. 16 balls remaining. Swing and a miss. And again, swinging for the fences. Could be buys coming up here. Wait for the confirmation.
Yeah.
So 15 balls remain. 92 the score on the board. Faisalabad Kings were sent in earlier by Lahore Badshah. Badshah looking to go for consecutive championships here, as they are the defending champions. And so they come back to the scene of the crime looking for repeat success. So over number 18 in progress here. And 100, 110 you would think is will be very competitive on the services. Appeal for like before. And umpire Brian Kane on move. Ball looked like it might have been angling down the leg side.
One of the things, Carl, even when the ball is pitched up, because the ball has no bounce, the shot cannot be timed properly. So that completes over number 18, and 18 gone, 94 for 8.
So 12 balls remaining here in the innings for Faisalabad Kings. And we see the bowling chart here. Ali Shah leading the way with 2 for 12 from 3 overs. Rajav Sigal 1 for 10 from 2. Danish Canaria 1 for 13 from his allotment of 4. And then we saw Parveen Kumar 3 overs, 1 made and none for 11. And those are the men who would have done the damage. Abdullah Syed 4 for 25 from his 4. So Abdullah Syed with his 4 wickets really leading the charge here for Lahore Badshah.
So Ali Shah comes back into the attack. 3 overs, no more than 2 for 12. We've got 18 balls remaining, so
well, actually 12 balls remaining.
Yeah, 2 overs left, so the bowling has really been on top. But one thing for sure, this will be a low scoring game, and as they say, runs are already made. So it will be pressure on the opposing team, the chasing team, the likes of Saeed Abdullah, Wajid Sultan, and some of the other players will have to come good.
Interesting remainder here. Projection suggests a little over 100, 105, based on the current going rate of 5 and over. This one is slashed away towards the extra cover region. Man comes around and loses his footing, but the ball is still in play, and he might have hurt himself there. Oh, and he's writhing in pain, and came on third.
Yeah, they had a fast bowler bowling us.
So Raymond Dar, the man who sustained the injury out in the deep, and so he's off. And the action continues. 97 the total. Ball hit in the air towards Mario Laban. And Bilal picks up another single here. So it takes total up to 98. And 8 balls remain in the innings. It brings Gaurav Grover onto strike. He's on 2. And finals coming down to a low-scoring affair. And so this one hit well down the ground, and this could go away. In fact, stops in the grass. Abdullah Saeed, I think, coming around, and they just are able to get a single. Brings Bilal back onto strike. 99 for 8, 7 balls remaining. And Ali Shah will bowl his final delivery. And so he has bowled 3.5 overs. 2 for 17 so far. So let's see what he'll do with the final delivery of his spell here. And this one is hit well. And oh, Mario Laban was there. It goes the distance. It's gone upstairs. And so that brings up the 100 in style. 100 comes up in over number 19, the final delivery of the 19th over. And so 11 off the over, 105 for 8 with 6 balls remaining. So final over as Parveen Kumar comes back into the attack. He is bowled 3 overs, 1 maiden, none for 11. So he'll finish up here bowling to Gaurav Grover. And Grover is tugging this one into the onside. Abdullah Saeed is there. And so he takes the catch. And that's the end of Grover. And so another wicket falls, now 105 for 9.
So Umair Ali comes to the middle. We've got 5 balls remaining. It's 105 for 9. Last pair out in the middle. Bilal is on 11. And Umair Ali, the fast bowler, comes in at number 11. Here is Parveen Kumar. And ball defended in back to the bowler. Parveen Kumar has so far picked up 1 for 11.
Hits this one well towards Mario Laban. It goes between them and into the boundary. So productive shot from Umar Ali. And you need those runs down here at the end, Len. You never know. On a low-scoring pitch, that's not conducive to big hitting. You take the runs on the board. 109, probably a good competitive totals already. How much more can they get with 3 balls remaining is left to be seen. But anything in the range of, say, 115, 120, probably you'll take as the team batting first, having been inserted.
Yes, Carl, they've already prepared themselves mentally to defend just over 100. And every single addition, whether it's a single run, will make it a little bit better for them. It's 110.
So just 2 balls remaining now. And Bilal Ahmed comes back onto strike. He's on 11. And 11 from 6 balls. So he'll have a free license to go for the fences here. Bilal Ahmed with the final pair out in the middle. Only 1 ball remaining after this. Goes big down the ground towards Abdullah, and he gives up the chase. And so that's a good productive shot. Takes the total up to 114. And if you're Faisalabad Kings, you have to think that this is a competitive score here on this heavy outfield and also this less than stellar batting surface. 1 ball remaining. Swings this one up to Abdullah. Should only be a single. In fact, they press a 1. They're going to come back for the second. Throw goes to the wicketkeeper's end. And he's been given out. So Abdullah Saeed with the throw. And so total of 115 all out. 115 all out as Bilal Ahmed is dismissed. So here you see the match summary. Faisalabad Kings, 115 all out off their 20 overs, led by Nazar. Salman Nazar's 32 off 37. Ram Ratan got 21 off 24 balls. Bilal Ahmed got 16 off 8. Abdullah Saeed 4 for 26. And Ali Shah 2 for 32, rather 2 for 23. And Rajav Sigal 1 for 10 off 2 overs. 115 all out off 20 overs. And so Lahore Badshah will need 116 from their allotment of overs if they are to win the PSL of USA Championship, Tournament Championship for 2022. We'll pause and return for the run chase with Lahore Badshah needing 116 for victory.
So we welcome you back for the big chase. Lahore Badshah will need 116 to win this one from 120 balls. Batsman out in the middle. Saeed Abdullah and Wajid Sultan. So they've come to begin their reply. And so we'll see what. So 116 required from 120 balls. Abdullah, who has been very attacking in this series, Carl, will be a key man here. Could be a low-scoring game.
Well, it's already a low-scoring game. Only 115 posted on the board. So at this juncture, all that's required is 116. Question is, can 116 be achieved in the 20 overs, or can Faisalabad pull one out of the hat on this surface, which is very unpredictable? We've seen some very unusual bounce, and so the predictability of the surface can contribute to Faisalabad's ability to restrict Lahore Badshah. That said, they will have to see the back of Abdullah Syed early, as he is in peak season form at the moment, coming off of a blistering 47 struck in the semi-final, 47 from just 23 balls that included 5 sixes and 3 fours. And so he is ready. Jesse Singh, the speedster, is ready, and we are ready for the chase here.
So we're all ready for play. Jesse Singh and Saeed Abdullah know each other pretty well. They would have played against each other and on the same team several times. But now we come down to 116 needed from 120 balls. And Carl, the batsmen who have made runs on this pitch, tells you the application and certainly their skills to, even on a very bad surface, to come out and still make some runs. Here we go. Abdullah on strike. That's a good delivery on the stumps. And what we have seen following Jesse Singh is that one of the things that he bowls the ball onto the wicket.
And his recipe for success, Jesse Singh, is to keep the ball full and straight. And we saw him reap results in the semifinals doing just that, just keeping the ball on a full length, bowling straight at the sticks. And here he comes once again.
So ball goes through to the keeper. In fact, Bilal Ahmed is the keeper. Lahore Badshah is the defending champ. And they need what? They need 116 from 118 ball to repeat that this year, but they will have to get past Faisalabad Kings. The other bowlers who could play key part in defending 116 here, Carl, will be the likes of Raj Bafsar, Raymond Ramratan. We haven't seen him bowl in the semi-final, and the big question is why. And then, of course, we've seen Salman Nazar, and the others will certainly back up the likes of Jesse Singh.
Ramratan for sure wasn't required in the semi-final. They won on a common canter, defending 133, and so there's a break in the action here. Have to wait to see what the issue is at the moment.
So we're all ready again. Jesse Singh will come into bowl to Abdullah. A couple of dot balls so far. Oh, smashed over the offside. And that has gone a long way. All these in the world off the bat of Abdullah. And that sails over the offside of the bowling of Jesse Singh. Take a look at this. Wide outside off. And bang, that's a slashing shot over the offside. Abdullah Saeed on the charge here. We saw him just 2 days ago batting aggressively in Virginia. He has certainly brought that form. We saw him getting 47 and 23 balls in the semi-finals on the other pitch. And he looks in vintage touch here this afternoon. Ball eased into the onside. Easy single here for Jesse Singh. For Abdullah Saeed, sorry. And that pushes the score up to 7 for no loss. We're in the first over. So the Pakistan Super League of the United States winds down this afternoon here. Final match of the series. We've had some very good matches during the course of the last 4 or 5 days. And we've had very good weather considering. One day it was a bit inclement, but relative to that, we've seen some good weather to finally finish this tournament. We saw last year it was very bad weather and the tournament was postponed all the way to July 4th. Wajid Sultan gets a good delivery from Jesse Singh and plays it out towards the onside. Jesse Singh will be hoping that he can get some performances to probably put him back into the US team. And he's part of the US setup, but certainly not selected for this set of games in Texas, as the US engages the likes of Scotland and the United Arab Emirates. So ball driven into the offside. That will complete over number 1. And after 1, they're chasing 100 and 118. Chasing 116, sorry. There's 7 without loss. So Gaurav Grover gets the second over. Will come into bowl to Abdullah. Oh, bowled him. So Abdullah loses his off stump. A tentative push. And that's the end of that. Abdullah loses his off stump. It's 7 for 1.
Yes! Yes!
So Gaurav Grover picks up the wicket of Abdullah Saeed. A tentative push outside the off stump, and he loses his off stump. Take a look at this. So that's the end of Abdullah. And the first wicket goes down. They're batting a 7 for 1. So Rizwan Raksi comes to the middle. And we've seen an early fall of a wicket here, just exactly what Faisalabad Kings would fancy. And so new man in is the captain Rizwan Raksi. So Rizwan Raksi is ready, and here is Gaurav Grover on the heels of having bowled down Abdullah. So they'll come back for two. We'll wait for the signal. Could be a couple of runs off the bat. In fact, buys the signal from umpire Brian Kane. So that pushes the score up to 9-1. They've lost the wicket of Abdullah.
Your friend is sitting there. The cap.
So Gaurav Grover, he gets ready. A little bit of changing around of the field. And so 107 from 112 ball, asking 5.7. They're going 6.7 at the moment. So things are on the way here. Oh, slashing shot over the offside. And a couple of bounces. Raksi on a very attacking mode. And punches this one over the offside field. And that one got away for 4. 13-1. So Captain Raksi has come out here and he's wasted no time. And the devil in the pitch comes out again as we welcome back Carl Bennett. Carl, you've missed the wicket of Abdullah. And also you've missed a punchy looking shot over the offside. Take a look at this one, ball keeping low. And that's why on this track you need to bowl on the stumps just in case the pitch behaves consistently.
All right, sure. And we've seen the pitch misbehaving all tournament long. As someone played away for another single, so 14 in the total. So Wajid Sultan will come onto strike for the first time, or rather, actually, he'll come onto strike. Yet to get off the mark. Has faced 2 deliveries so far. Yeah.
So it's 102 from 110 balls. 5.5 is the asking, but we know that will change. That will change as overs come and go.
But it's less than run a ball, and so generally with that being the equation, batters knowing how this surface plays should be looking to work the ball around, just taking ones where they're on offer. But so far we've seen that sometimes they elect to go for glory, go for boundaries, and try to get there ahead of time. But a big wicket that would have fallen. Gaurav Grover picking up the prize scalp of Abdullah Saeed. He fell for 7. Just would have faced 5 balls. And struck 1-6 in his innings. But back in the hut now, so he'll take no further part. Will have no further contribution in this contest. Did pick up 4 wickets with the ball, so has contributed mightily on one side of the ball. But we know that he's an attacking player and can change the complexion of a game in very short order. So with him back in the hut, definitely puts Faisalabad Kings back in the hunt for sure as they look to dethrone the defending champions, Lahore Badshah.
So Jesse Singh gets a second over.
So extras up to 3. First wide of the afternoon in this chase. Others have been 2 byes, and so a no ball free hit upcoming here as Jesse Singh overstepping the crease. And so 1 more added to the total, and now Rizwan Raksi will get a chance to free his arms.
So free hit ball comes up. Can we see a replay? So Jesse Singh on a free hit ball. Oh, not much.
Not much doing, as he can't get this one off the square. So a good delivery, and as we've seen from time to time, the best ball a bowler has is the one on the free hit often. And so good free hit delivery from Jesse Singh, yields no run.
Yeah, we've seen Jesse Singh certainly in his international career has committed the cardinal sin of overstepping from time to time. That's something you will probably have to work on.
Wide ball angle down the leg side this time. So Jesse Singh struggling with the to get the line right here. And so far in this over has conceded a wide, no ball. In fact, 2 wides and a no ball. So 3 extras already in this over. So he's running 6 times, only 3 legal deliveries required from 103 balls. Make that 98 now from 102. As the over comes to an end, 4 runs from it. It's 18 for 1 after 3.
So Gaurav, Grover will continue. First over, very successful one. Got a wicket of Abdullah. Will come in here to defend 98. Ball played into the offside. Can score is the captain Raksi. And Carl, we've seen a lot of strike going towards Raksi rather than Wajid Sultan.
Yes, then. And Raksi has to get in the habit here of looking for just strike rotation for the moment. We saw the most productive partnership
I think we do have that.
on the
For the goal,
King's side, and he's gone. So again, ball keeping low, batsman on the back foot. And all ends up again, ball keeping low. And that's the end of Rizwan Raksi. And so it's 18 for 2.
This is a level 1 game, boy.
So here is the replay, and on the back foot, pulling away, looking to cut the ball through the offside, missing the ball completely. And once you're on the back foot, you're in jeopardy. And so he goes. And that's the second wicket to fall here. Second wicket that goes by way of being bowled. And so the new batter walks to the middle. Looks to be number 18. And that would be Wajid. Well, actually, no, that was Sultan already. No, so the man walking out could be number 1. He's limping. He was the man who was in the deep. I think is Raymond Dar. So Raymond Dar strikes to the middle.
So Raymond Dar comes to the middle. 2 for 18, 98 to win from 99. $16 for 3 at this point. So Grover has made a double strike, spread across 9 balls, Carl.
Yes, and 2 for 5, 2 for 5 in those 9 deliveries. And it's going to be a struggle here. You can already see it's going to be a struggle here for Lahore Badshah, as they're already under the gun. Dar, the new man who arrives out in the middle. And ball beating all ends up. And probably fortunate to not hear the death rattle behind him. In fact, he looks at the surface almost in disbelief. And again, batters should not be shocked at this point. They should be expecting the ball to play low and the surface to play low. Now is when the proper technique will be required. And so this one taking the pad, going up into the onside. And that will close out the over, a maiden wicket over. And so Gaurav has spectacular bowling figures already. 2 overs, 1 maiden, 2 for 5. As he's been brilliant. Has removed 2 top batters from the Lahore Badshah team. So you see the Lahore Badshah lineup here. Abdullah Saeed, he went for 7, bowled by Gaurav. Wajid Sultan still there. He is yet to get off the mark. Raymond Dar, he was dismissed for 6. In fact, Raymond Dar is not out. Rizwan Roxy was dismissed for 6. 18 for 2, 4 overs completed here at Marine Park.
So 2 for 18, Raymond Dar and Wajid Sultan out in the middle. Still some ways to go. A wicket that makes 116 something of a challenge. It's not an easy walk in Marine Park today. So new bowler Umair Ali given the ball. Oh, bowled him. Middle stump knocked out of the ground. And Umair Ali has made a perfect start to his bowling spell. Wajid Sultan gone. It's 18 for 3.
And that's the power of bowling full and straight. As we see the replay here, Umair Ali charged in full and straight through the gates, and the middle stump uprooted. And third wicket falls here. Now Faisalabad Kings on top here against Lahore Badshah.
So 18 for 3. New man comes out. So Parveen Kumar comes out here with still 98 to win from 95. They've lost 3 already. And if ever there was a time to bowl on the stumps, that time would be now. Good execution here from Umair Ali. Full and straight as in that case has been on middle stump, knocking the stumps out of the ground. Good ball from Umair Ali.
Oh!
My goodness, he has found the middle stump and the stump has gone again. So Parveen Kumar gets the first ball, and all of a sudden Umair Ali on a hat-trick. 2 clean bowls. Take a look.
And it was full and straight. He went across the line of the delivery, was nowhere close to it. And that's the end of Parveen Kumar.
And viewers, we've shown you a lot of reviews. Those 2 that you see there, they are not reviews. They're actual live events. Couple of wickets to fall. And all of a sudden, Umair Ali on a hat-trick. Clean bowling 2 of the batsmen. Middle stump knocked out of the ground.
And so the new batter that walks to the middle now is Ali Shah. And so he comes out with Umair Ali on a hat-trick. And that long walk back to the pavilion, not a fun one. Just made a round trip out to the middle, see how things looked out there, and then came right back in.
Yes, Carl, and on your way back to your hut, you've got to pass the Faisalabad Kings.
It's not
crowd, their partisan crowd on the left side of the com box.
Yes, Len, and so Faisalabad in charge here. Umair Ali has been bowling full and straight. That's what's required in this type of surface. Who's going to put their hand up here for Lahore Badshah? Ali Shah has been sent to the middle to look to avert any additional damage.
So here is the hat-trick ball. Umair Ali, he has sent a couple of middle stumps flying, and he comes into bowl to Ali Shah. Shah, cool as a cucumber, pushes it into the offside and averts the hat-trick.
So ball is back of a length, making good height off the surface this time. And so he just stood his ground, stood tall, guided it out into the offside, and so prevented the hat-trick. That said, Umair Ali has already done the damage in this particular over. He's snapped up 2 with the first 2 balls that he's bowled here on the afternoon. And so Lahore Badshah in a spot of bother.
So a couple of good follow-up deliveries after the couple of ball down. And Umair Ali is just as good as some of the other fast bowlers in this series.
And one of the few balls that would have come out of the middle of the bat off of the bat of Ali Shah, but went straight to cover point. And so he can't score, can't rotate the strike either. And so the score remains at 18.
And Carl, we've seen Ali Shah, he looks quite composed, not to be phased what has happened so far, and while he hasn't gotten off the mark, he has fluently come and driven the ball here and there.
Right
Umair Ali, quality bowling.
Just need to do a little bit of a mop-up job here, just to occupy the crease for a bit, take some wind out of the sails of the Faisalabad Kings bowlers, and then look to restart again. 6 wickets in hand, still anybody's game. But if you were a betting person, you might suggest that Faisalabad Kings have their heels up at the moment. 18 for 4, the total on the board.
So a couple of strikes in this over, followed up with 3 dot balls, and Umair Ali is just as good as some of the big fast bowlers in this series. He may not have the name, but he'll give you a big performance, and he has certainly done that. Oh, lovely shot over the infield. And Ali Shah picks up a confident boundary. That's a good-looking shot over the offside.
Really well executed on the front foot, just a half stride, ball on the up. And he came forward straight back and just used the pace of the delivery to guide it over a backward point. And away it went, it raced away. Just a couple of bounces into the boundary. So that closes out the over. 4 runs from it, a double strike at the beginning of the over. So a productive one from a Lahore Badshah standpoint. 22 on the board then, as we see the bowling figures here.
Impressive bowling figures, 2 overs, 1 made and 2 for 5. And Rehman Dar gets a single, and this could be a little bit of an issue here for Lahore Badshah while he has come out to bat. Rehman Dar, he's certainly not 100% in a position to run quickly, Carl. And this would have been the player who would have gone down during the course of fielding one of the ball.
Where's the Belgian? He scored it as a run. He signaled leg by, right? Yes. So where's the guy? Where's the scorer? Where's the guy scoring?
You're fine.
So
where's
Ali
the scorer?
Shah.
He was over here before, but
So Gaurav Grover continues to produce some magic here. Ali Shah is on 4, quality delivery.
oh, holds on.
Jesse Singh.
Had to go a long way backwards and then dove forward. And so Jesse Singh again can't keep him out of the game. 5th wicket falls here. And Ali Shah has to go.
Yeah, good catch here from Jesse Singh. Let's take a look at that, but ball not timed well. Jesse Singh had to backpedal, and then realizing that the ball is going to die on him, made the final dive and holds on for dear life. 23 for 5.
Really well done on the part of Jesse Singh. The ball was always moving away from him, may have been in the air a bit, and the wind may have been caught up in the wind for a moment, but in the end, Jesse Singh diving forward as Ibrahim Zahoor walks to the middle to replace the recently dismissed Ali Shah. Shah went for 4 off 7 balls, 23 for 5.
Jesse, 5 out at 23. 23 the 5. Lamya balo.
So Rehman Dar will be the man on strike. Come October the 1st, the rule of batsman crossing and will be outlawed, and already many leagues have already started the process. But for now, Rehman Dar would have crossed during the ball that went high up in the air. Well executed catch in the end from Jesse Singh, and 23 for 5, Lahore Badshah.
Well ball.
So it looks like it's Faisalabad's Kings game to lose from this point, as runs on the board are runs on the board, and we have seen Len 100 runs plus standing up on this particular wicket, and so far they appear to be doing just that.
This is 6.
So 6 overs completed, the end of the power play, 23 for 5, as you can see on screen. At the same point, 29 for 4
Yep.
was the total when Faisalabad Kings batted. And you see the score sheet here. And it reads like a telephone number, only single digits at this point, 706004 and or 70600040, and so reads like a telephone number for sure. 23 for 5. Power play has now been completed, and so now Jesse Singh will toss the ball back to Umair Ali. And Umair, his first over was quite impressive. 2 for 4 in his first over. And so he comes back looking for more. Half the Lahore Badshah team back in the hut.
Let's go.
So Umair Ali will come into bowl to Ibrahim Zahoor, a man who would have played several years for the Staten Island Cricket Club in the Metropolitan League and now plies his trade with Lucas. Gets a good delivery. Umair Ali searching for more. And a couple of strikes in the last over may have tilted the balance slightly to Faisalabad Kings. But you never turn your back on a T20 cricket game. We've seen many, certainly
umpire Ron McFarlane on top of things. 24 then the total on the board, 6.2 gone. Umair Ali has been particularly impressive with the ball. He's bowling on a full length for the most part, and again right in the block hole and forcing the batters to defend. And Jesse Singh, the captain of Faisalabad Kings this afternoon, has to be pleased with the effort. He didn't put a lot on the board, but we've seen that the surface is not conducive to putting up a big total. Ball sticking in the surface, keeping low consistently. And this time ball is being played up into the onside for no run.
Sari Mandar. He's a quality young player. Would have played in the U.S. National Under-19 Championships several months ago. He's a good player, more of a stroke player.
Well,
Was certainly hampered by a little bit of injury he's carrying.
has soaked up 9 balls so far to finally get off the mark, and still hobbling a bit out in the middle. So we saw him get injured out in the field earlier while chasing a ball in the deep, but has shown the courage to want to come back and put in the fight for his team. They'll need him in the worst way, as they're behind the 8 ball here and behind the bowling effort of Faisalabad Kings. Some impressive bowling from Umair Ali and Gaurav Grover. Grover has picked up 3 wickets for nothing, 3 for 5, 2 maidens in his 3-over spell. And this time, this one is defended up into the offside again for no run. So that will complete the over. Just 2 runs from it. It's 25 for 5 at the end of 7. And we can see the worm chart here. Both teams were just about at the same point after 7 overs, and you can see the Faisalabad Kings, their worm actually inching just higher, and of course the 1 extra wicket that would have fallen here for Lahore Badshah, so they have 5 dots as opposed to 4 at this juncture, so just a bit falling a bit behind where Faisalabad Kings would have been at the same point in time. 25 for 5. Top order ripped apart here for Lahore Badshah.
So Grover will finish up here. It's been quite impressive. 3 overs, 2 men, 3 for 5. Not often you'll see bowling figures like that, Carl, in a T20 game. In fact, let alone any format of cricket, let alone T20 cricket.
Yes, Len, his first over. He conceded 5 runs in his first over while picking up a wicket. His subsequent overs have both been maidens. And so he's a serious man coming to the party here for Faisalabad Kings. So he continues, starts with a dot. So keeps the string of dot deliveries going. And in fact, if we look at how things have progressed for Grover, again, bowls another dot ball here. So the way things have progressed, he has kept things very, very tight. And a ball outside the off stump and punched away for 1. So breaks a string of some 14 consecutive dots. And so away goes Raymond Dar, picks up his 2nd run. Total moves up to 26. And in fact, that was 16 consecutive dots for a run. So in the context of T20, from just an economy standpoint, not only has he been extremely economical, but has also been very effective at picking up wickets.
So Ibrahim Zahoor comes into stride, gets another quality delivery here from Grover. Seems to be getting a lot of turn. Squares up Ibrahim Zahoor. And another good delivery. So many dot balls strung along here by Gaurav Grover.
And
Carl, in addition to those many dot balls, he has struck twice. It requires 7.4, and they're going 3.3, so those numbers does not favor a chasing team. And the fact is they've essentially lost half of the resources of wickets remaining, or wickets used up. And so 5 wickets gone. So Salman Nazar has been given the ball, so he comes into the attack. And will come into ball to Ibrahim Zahoor, who has been there for some time. In fact, he has faced 6 balls. He's only picked up a couple of runs.
And that's the issue that Lahore Badshah will have to overcome. The batters are there. They're trying to fight. They're trying to graft, as we would say. But so far, it's Kings on top. Kings on top. Faisalabad Kings looking to unseat the defending champions. And at this juncture, Len, you would have to give them a really good chance of doing so. Another dot here as Salman Nazar joins the party here as he has been introduced into the attack. Very effective in the semi-finals. As this one
So
worked.
turn into the onside. They kind of come back, or they want to come back for 2. But Remandar, with that little bit of injury, certainly not was going to make that. It's 28 for 5.
So 88 needed from 69 balls. Asking rate inching closer to 8 and over. They started at under 6. 5.6 was the asking rate at the outset. Since then, Lahore has managed to fall behind by 2 runs per over, as this one turned into the onside for a single. Or better said, Faisalabad Kings have managed to restrict the run rate to the degree that it's added 2 incremental runs on top of the asking rate at the outset. And so now the asking rate approaching 8. Really good effort here on the part of Kings. Again, another dot ball. And so good productive over so far for Kings. Just 1 ball remaining, just 2 runs already conceded in the over. And so real runs coming at a premium here for Lahore. And that completes the over, just 2 runs from it. And so it's 29 for 5 at the end of 9 overs.
So what's the purpose of this approach?
The crease for a minute, catch your breath. Reset, then go again.
So Adil Naushawan has been given the ball.
Is he coming out?
And he comes in here at 29 for 5. Surprisingly, we haven't seen Raymond Ramratan being introduced into the attack in this semi-final and even today.
And Ramratan could be the secret weapon if he's needed. It hasn't been needed to this point. So what has happened is, as they say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And so Jesse Singh content to just go with the bowlers that have been doing the job for him so far. Should he need the services of a Raymond Ramratan, I'm sure he'll call upon him at such time. At this juncture, 87 needed from 66 balls.
So the action continues. So Remandar goes, ball first ball. And Adil Naushawan strikes in his very first ball. Remandar gone 29 for 6. Take a look at that.
And
looking to on drive.
Coming around the wicket to the left-hander, and he's beaten through the air, through the gates. He stays there, looks in shock, in disbelief as he sees the off-stump dislodged. And so Dar has to go, and he falls for just 3. Absorbed 14 deliveries to get there. And so now Lahore likely to get packed up here for perhaps a total less than 50. So Raghav Segal walks to the middle. So he comes in at a crucial point here with Lahore decimated. And so he will take strike from Adil Noshirwan with 87 needed from 65, only 4 wickets left standing. And so looks like it could be a Faisalabad Kings afternoon after all. He put up 115 on the board, didn't look like the most imposing of a total, but so far they've managed to make that amount stand up, and standing up it is.
So Raghav Seagull is the new man in at 29 for 6. And so 87 to win from 65, 4 wickets standing. So ball worked into the onside, and Seagal gets off the mark with 1 and turns the strike over to Ibrahim Zaur.
It's really tough sledding here for Lahore, as they have capitulated here almost in the worst way. Ball again keeping low, turned into the onside. They go for 1. They think about a second, but it was never on, so 1 it will be. So slow sledding at the moment. Scoreboard continuing to tick. The asking rate continuing to tick upwards. 8.1 now the ask.
And Carl, when you're struggling at 31 for 6, it gets even worse if you come out and just try to. You just hang around for hang around's sake with no purpose. Not a single into the into the onside, 32 for 6, and so 84 from 62, 6 wickets down.
And a very unpleasant response from Lahore. They've been under the pump right from almost from the first over, and the batters have not been allowed to settle. As Gaurav Grover got into the act early, Umair Ali built on that, and they picked up 5 of the first 6 wickets. And then Adil Noshirwan has come in to add to the misery of Lahore, and now they're struggling to get the ball away as the over comes to an end. 3 runs from it. It's a wicket successful over for Lahore, and so rather a successful over for Faisalabad Kings, and so it's 32 for 6 at the end of 10 overs. So we're at the midway point here of the run chase. 84 more runs are needed from the next 10 overs. So the action continues as the ball played up into the onside. Salman Nazar continues the attack, and so Rajiv Seagal pushes up to 3, brings Ibrahim Zahoor back onto strike. 33 then the total on the board, and getting another good delivery. So Salman Nazar has been very effective, just landing the ball in a consistent spot on the wicket, letting the ball do the rest, getting quite a bit of bounce and turn. And the ball again keeping low, dug out well by Zahoor. Moves his total along to 5 and takes the Lahore total up to 34 for 6. And you're not misreading your screen, folks, if you're watching at home. 6 wickets are down. And in fact, 5 of those wickets fell within the power play. And so Faisalabad Kings defending stoutly here. Defending just 115 is what they posted. And really making that 115 stand tall. 56 more deliveries remain. 81 runs are required. The run rate approaching, the asking rate approaching 9 and over. So 8.7 to be precise. And this time, ball outside the off stump, and no chance to score there. So you can see on screen, 81 needed off 9.1 overs. It's an asking rate of 8.9 or 8.84 as the over comes to a close. And just 3 runs from it, Salman Nazar with another impressive over. And so his bowling figures at this point, 2 overs, none for 5. And so you can see the sponsors of the PSL of USA. And you see Quantic, and you see the P1 Sports logo in the middle, Acme Contracting, Humayun Properties, Green Insurance Brokerage, Rashid Law, and Pakoli, New York. That's the Pakistan, believe, coalition of Long Island. As this one turned into the onside for a single. So the score goes up to 36. Adil Noshirwan continuing. Noshirwan 1.1 over. In fact, just 3 runs conceded in his first over, where he did pick up a wicket with his very first ball. Ball played again up into the offside. Just singles on offer here by the bowlers of Faisalabad Kings. They have put a hammerlock on Lahore. And so 79 required. Run rate, asking rate up over 9 now. 9.1.12 you see on screen. Ball outside the off stump, guided down to a short third man position. And man is positioned there in the form of Gaurav Grover. And so the score remains at 37. This one again hit well down the ground. And singles won't hurt. We see batters content to just looking to maintain their wicket and keep the scoreboard moving. At some point they'll have to start going for it. As each over that turns over that they don't achieve 9 runs or better, the asking rate continues to escalate, so pressure building here on Lahore. And Faisalabad Kings are well into the tail here. So again, another dot ball registered. And so really good stuff here from Adil Noshirwan. Partnership of just 9. So these two, it's them with the blue line, and Lahore falling away here. There, the red line falling away precipitously once you got past over number 6. You saw that their worm trending well below Faisalabad Kings when they took their turn at the wicket. So here's Salman Nazar to continue. And ball is defended into the onside. Again, no chance to score here. So Raghav Sigal has consumed some 6 deliveries. In fact, has consumed eight deliveries for his 6. Ibrahim Zahour for his 6. He has consumed some 21 balls. And so it's been a very slow sledding for the Lahore batsmen. As Salman, down the track comes Segal looking to drive, not getting to the pitch, and can't score. So really good bowling here by Lahore, by Faisalabad Kings, as they continue to apply pressure. Here's Salman, quicker delivery, again forced to defend, and this time it gets through, and they will get a single. So Lahore pushes up to 39, reduces the equation to 77 needed off 7.2 overs. So you can see the asking rate climbing, now up to 10.5. And now big heave, and he is beating all ends up. Another wicket falls here. And so Ibrahim Zahour has to go as he hears the death rattle behind him. And so wicket falls. It's now 39 for 7. 39 for 7. As we watch the replay here, Salman Nazar gets into the act, full, flighted and straight. And in fact, he pulled it into his leg and then onto the stump. And so that's the end of Ibrahim Zahour. And so now looks as if it's going to be Habib Shah that's walking to the middle. And so Shah will come in with Lahore in a precarious position at 39 for 7. And so they're 77 runs away from their target with only 43 balls remaining. Asking rate of 10.74. And this one looks like it's well out of reach here, as Faisalabad Kings have made inroads, and significant inroads in fact, and has gotten into the tail here of Lahore Badshah.
So Habib Shah comes to the middle, and the writing on the wall perhaps. Faisalabad Kings, if they win here this afternoon, this will be the first time. Lahore Badshah, the defending champion, on the verge of sinking and sinking fast here. Salman Nazar. Oh, big swing and a miss. So here's a man. He's ready to have a go.
Well, realizing, Len, perhaps that not a lot left in the hut, and we have to go now. And so one wicket in the over, and 1 run conceded. So successful over for Salman Nazar, 39 for 7, 77 needed off the next 7 overs. Asking rate of 11 and over, so 11 runs and over requirement, and only 3 wickets in hand for Lahore Badshah. So Adil will continue. Adil has bowled 2 overs, 1 for 6 so far, and so looking for more. He starts with the ball outside the off stump, drifting further away from Raghav Segal. And this time he's going down the leg side. We'll wait to see if he got bat onto it. They go for 1. They're coming back for a second. And we'll wait for a signal, if any. And buys is the call. And so a couple of buys added.
So 41 for 7. You need 75 from 40. Asking 11.2 if that's relevant.
Oh, another one taken. Caught and bowled. Raghav Segal looking to go big, recognizing the position that Lahore finds themselves in. And so he takes the catch, a return catch offered, and he makes no mistake. And so that's the end of Raghav Segal. He goes.
So ball straight back into the hand. Well, in fact, that's not the replay we're looking for, but Adil Naushwan has picked up his second wicket. And more trouble here for Lahore Badshah. They're batting a 41 for 7. That Canaria comes to the middle. But take a look at this one. Pure reflexes, steps across and accepts his second wicket. And so Danish Canaria comes out to the middle here with a scorecard that is reading a 41 for 8.
So it's been the Faisalabad Kings show. Naushwan picks up his second, so he joins the club of bowlers who have picked up more than one. So that club includes Gaurav, who picked up 3 for 7, Umair Ali 2 for 6, and so Naushwan in the 2 for 6 club. And he still has more deliveries here, and this time Danish Canaria is forward and defending.
Yeah, long forward.
Yes, looks almost like a test man. Foot extended well down the track. This time seeing the ball just gripping into the surface and making quite a bit of movement off the surface. So he's getting bounce and turn. Is Adil Naushwan. This time he steers this away. We'll get at least one. And that's all he's looked to get. That should close out the over. And it does. 3 runs from it. And a successful over for Adil Naushwan, where he did pick up the wicket of Segal. And so it's now 42 for 8. 74 more runs are needed from 6 overs at an asking rate of 12.3. 12.3 the ask, and you see the worm here as Lahore has fallen substantially behind Faisalabad, struggling at 42 for 8 after 14. Here is Salman Nazar to continue. Flighted delivery, turned in fact worked into the onside for an easy single. But if you're Kings, you realize that singles can't hurt you at this juncture, as the asking rate approaching 13. This time no chance to pierce the 30-yard circle, and at some stage then Lahore might have to throw caution to the wind and just take whatever they can get. And a heave-ho from Habib Shah. So he might have heard the suggestion from the commentary box.
Yeah, the fact is we've seen so much leg spin today. And leg spin has really worked. You're turning the ball away from the swing.
Snags another. And so Habib Shah has to go. Salman Nazar takes the return catch. And so now it's 43 for 9. 43 for 9. As Salman Nazar snaps up another one and makes it look easy. So the last man, Mario Loban, heads to the middle with 73 needed from 32. And so then the fat lady is out in full force, and the singing may be well and truly on. And the scorecard then reads like a telephone number: 706-304-6702. And so somebody should dial that number, see where it rings.
Might be ringing in the camp of the Lahore Badshah. That's our phone number.
It's been a tough sled here 115 will stand up here in the championship final as Laban comes to the middle as representing the last hope for Lahore with a long way to go. 32 balls remaining, 73 to get. Asking rate approaching 14, and you see the scorecard up there. It's not a pretty sight. A number of bowls and leg before wickets, so that tells the tale as Laban taps away and waits. He's in the side for his bowling exploits and asked here to come in and try to keep any last remnants of hope for Lahore alive. And so he will have to see off at least this one last delivery in this over from Salman Nazar. And he does hit this back along the track to get a single, to get himself off the mark and to keep strike. It's 2 off the over, another successful over for Faisalabad Kings. And at the end of 15 is 44 for 9. You don't have to adjust your screen, fans at home, as you see the replay here of the dismissal as Salman Nazar snags it and takes it easily, reverse cup fashion, and so Habib Shah has to head back to the hut. So Umair Ali will come back into the attack here, looking to clean things up. And so Umair Ali, 2 overs, 2 for 6. And so he has been called upon here to look to close things out. Mario Laban and Danish Canaria, the men that remain. And the last pair for Lahore. And this time Laban is driving fluently down the ground.
Yeah, good looking shot from Laban. He looks like a top order batsman.
In fact, compared to what we've seen so far, Len, I couldn't tell that he is not one of your top order based on what we've seen earlier and the way he's responding down here at the tail. 45 on the board, 71 more needed.
Well, he's part of the overseas cut. This year you were allowed to have 6 overseas or non-Pakistani player in your roster. 4 will play, or 4, not more than 4 can play. And so that's why we've seen the likes of players like Lahore Badshah and Raymond Ramratan, Mario Laban, some of the other players. Gaurav is one. Last year it was exclusively for Pakistani-born players, but this year they have relaxed that restriction and have opened up the tournament to a little bit more inclusive players from the other nations, as Laban picks up a single out towards the onside. So,
and actually, Len, to your point earlier, Laban looks a player. He doesn't look too bad with the bat in hand. Seems to know what he's doing. And he's faced 4 balls so far for his 3 runs, but more importantly, with the track playing low, has really lined up the ball well and hasn't looked particularly perturbed by the pace of the wicket.
So Umair Ali has put in a good bit of performance today. 2 for 10 so far.
4 of those 10 runs coming in this particular over, so that only tells you that these 2 bowlers, this last pair of Canaria and Laban, the bowling unit, have actually been the ones to stand tall here, or looking to stand up. He drives fluently again up to mid-off. Just getting there ahead of the throw. A strong throw by Jesse Singh. And in the Caribbean land, we would say Jesse Singh knows how to stone birds. We've seen him throw the stumps down on a few occasions. And this time, Laban just getting there ahead of the throw. And brings the total up to 49. 49 for 9. We're in over number 16. Asking rate well in excess now of 16.
Well, Jesse broke an earlier transmitter or camera that was being used as a stump vision thing, and probably had the camera been there again, would have been in danger. So a single here to Canaria.
So the bowlers are doing it down here at the end. 6 off the over. Run
50
off
is
each
up.
ball. A 50 comes up. It's probably not a material accomplishment at this juncture, with still 66 more runs needed. And so 4 overs to go, 66 remaining. And you see the 2 tallest buildings. In fact, other than over number 12, the next 2 tallest buildings are, well, actually that's for the Faisalabad Kings. Other than the first 2 overs, this 16th over has been the tallest building in this Manhattan sky chart for the Lahore Badshah. And a tale of two cities. And Lahore has really struggled in this run chase. Once they lost their key man, Abdullah Syed, early, it was always going to be a struggle. And they've made a meal of this chase. 50 for 9.
50. 50.
So 4 overs remaining in this championship tournament. So it looks like Adil to continue. And
2
so
for 7 off 3. Adil Naushawan. And it's interesting, Adil Naushawan is sometimes a left-hand seamer, but we've seen leg spinner needed here today. Switch to that big appeal. Game
and
is
it's
over.
given. And so championship goes, the spoils go to Faisalabad Kings. And Adil Naushawan probably deservedly picks up the last wicket here. And that of Danish Canaria. He goes leg before wicket. It's 50 all out. They win by 65 runs, defending 115. My word. 65-run victory, defending just 115. And then thumping win for Faisalabad Kings. And they celebrate. And so we'll pause here and get the proceedings set up for the run, for the presentation awards. And so we'll take a pause and return for the presentation of the hardware with the news that Faisalabad Kings have won emphatically by 65 runs here at Marine Park.